It is Sunday, January 14th, 2018. Here we are on Bitcoin. I've had quite a few people emailing me, contacting me. Oh, where's Bitcoin going? What do you see? Any patterns developing? And I know if you use a sort of trapped and higher price at a higher price. I told you not to chase this too hard. Anyway, okay, so those of you out there that trade on patterns will be familiar with this pattern I'll show you here called the Gartley pattern. Basically, a Gartley pattern it's a 5-wave structured pattern. So we go low, high, there, there, and that's our Gartley. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 up. Now, Gartley is the result of a failed ABC D pattern. So, and just delete that arrow there for a second. If this was a bearish ABC pattern, we know A to B, C to D is, I'll just put in measurement there. The C to D on ABC equals CD pattern, and the C to D leg usually always equals in length the A leg down. So that would have been, if that proved to be a bearish AB equals CD pattern, it would have terminated at the 161 Fibonacci at 10,342, and then, so I just delete that. And then once that pattern was complete, you always have to have a price movement higher. But because we didn't get that, it failed on that leg, and we had the top of that leg, and it failed and then moved up. That becomes a Gartley pattern, or as some say, a bat pattern, which is a similar occurrence. So in any event with these patterns, as I noted with the AB equals CD, once the pattern's complete in a bearish structure of the AB equals CD, which would have been there, traders know that in that scenario, if that had played out, the next corrective wave would have had to have been up. So traders would have been looking to go long if they're trading Bitcoin. But because we didn't get that, and it morphed into a Gartley or a bat pattern, that was the bullish move. So traders that knew that AB and the C to D leg failed and started to morph in, knew that the pattern morphed into that. And so technical traders, knowing how these patterns and knowing what's coming next, would have taken short position up the top of here. Second confirmation of that is, once again, with these patterns, they always confirm to a Fibonacci movement as well. So if we put in a Fibonacci measurement, we ignore that because that's not a real body low on a candle. That one is. Failure to get above the 62 confirmation was here to go short down to that timing angle. If you traded that now, where is this going to head in the future? Given that this pattern, this Gartley and bat pattern has completed and we're currently in a down phase, the important thing to look here on Bitcoin from a technical perspective, and I state again technical perspective, nothing else, is the most important Fibonacci ratio of the 38 comes into play here. We can see Friday's candle price action failed to close above. If it had closed above, higher prices maybe would have printed. But given that Bitcoin does trade on the Sunday, it's confirming that the rejection of the 38, and if it confirms that on a follow through tomorrow, we could very well, if it breaks this timing angle, we could very well see lower prices and a retest of the 50 Fibonacci at 12,680. If it breaks below that, we look at the timing angle of 11,360 area and maybe the 62 at 10,980. So that's my forecast for Bitcoin. I think with everything else that's going on with it, with governments desperately wanting to regulate this heavily now, it's putting a lot of pressure on the price, and it looks like psychological view, because this is what these patterns are. They represent, and candles, as we know, represent a psychological nature of people's emotions. Looks like we could very well get lower prices to print here during the week. That's my call for Bitcoin.